Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. First off, a quick word about last week's video. To me, I wasn't exactly firing on all cylinders last week. I think it was mostly because I hadn't had time to watch very much. I didn't have an awful lot to say. How I ever kept it going for 30 minutes is completely beyond me, but I did get there in the end. All I wanted to say was a great big thank you to everybody that basically messaged me and commented that there was nothing wrong with the video. I was thinking of changing the format yet again. I didn't think it was quite right, but you guys seemed quite happy to sit there listening to me prattle for 30 minutes. So I'm going to leave things the way they are at the moment, maybe introduce a couple of new features to it. Maybe at a later date I'll change the way it looks, but you guys seem quite happy with it the way it is, and to be honest, I only really do it for you guys, so whatever you like is what I'm going to do. And I would say the same to anybody else. I know of somebody else that was thinking of jacking the videos in a few days ago. I would just say to them, and anybody else that runs a small channel like this one, don't get down because you've not got loads of subscribers and hundreds of views. I look at it this way. This channel, I have possibly about 46, 47 subscribers. Average number of views on a video is between 20 and 25. It's not massive, but you know what? I ain't bothered. I've got a loyal set of people who watch these things pretty much every week, always commenting on the stuff that I bring up. Everybody takes part on the group and posts stuff and this, that and the other. It's a small family, a small kind of family atmosphere to it, and that's the way I like it. I'm not really bothered whether I get thousands of subscribers and hundreds of views every week. I'm perfectly happy with this small channel that we've got. It's lovely, just like I say, sitting here every week with a cup of tea, just chatting to you, calling you all by name, because it is a personal thing. I think it is anyway. I think it just makes it nice and cozy that we can just all talk to each other and this, that and the other. So I'm going to leave things the way they are, but I really do appreciate all your comments last week, basically saying that you didn't think there was anything wrong. It was obviously just me again. So like I say, I'll leave it the way it is for the moment, but we'll see what happens in the future. But I've certainly got no intention of knocking them on the head, let's put it that way. I enjoy doing them too much, and I know you guys enjoy watching them, so yeah, I'm going to keep going. Right, a few shout outs I suppose to start off with as usual. Chris, cracking review of the Bad Boys movies. Never ever had a hankering to watch these. I know of them. I know it's Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, is it? I know they've got a hell of a following. People love these films, but I have just never ever bothered to watch them. They've never really appealed to me. But saying that, watching your video and listening to how passionate you were about them, I've decided to give them a go. I've watched the trailers and they do look good. So I'm definitely going to give them a try. And see what I think. I don't know what it is that I didn't think I was going to like about them. It's just, I took one look at the poster and thought, no, that's not really me. But you've done basically what this channel, I think, and the group is all about. I think it's great when a person infects everybody else with their enthusiasm for certain movies that I would never have thought about watching. And it works both ways, because I know that you've watched a lot of movies that I've recommended, some of which you've never even heard of, and enjoyed them. So I think that is what this group is all about, is basically just encouraging each other to watch movies that they wouldn't normally bother with, but they feel sure that you would enjoy. So I am going to be checking out the Bad Boys movies. I believe a couple of them are on Sky Cinema, and I think one of them is on Netflix, or is it two that's on Netflix? I can't remember. But they're on there for the moment, so I'm going to be checking those out very, very shortly. So I'll let you know what I think of those. Joe, I enjoyed your trailer for The Shark is Broken. I really, really hope somebody picks this up to make into a movie. For those of you that don't know, The Shark is Broken is a stage play that's been touring the UK, and it is a behind the scenes look at the relationship basically between Robert Shaw, um, Richard Dreyfuss, and Roy Scheider on the set of Jaws. I think it is an absolutely amazing idea. The guy, if I remember correctly, who plays Robert Shaw is actually Robert Shaw's son. So that's got to make it worth a look. But I really enjoyed that trailer. Obviously, I'm not going to go to the theatre to see it. I'm not really a theatre person. But somebody surely has got to look at this and see the possibility of making this into a movie, because it is an amazing idea. So fingers crossed, Joe, somebody will pick that up and turn that into a film. And I don't think it would take very long, because it would be one of those sort of 1 or 2 set things with 3 characters, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I would really love to see that turned into a film, so we'll keep our fingers crossed with that. And also, Joe, start posting your videos back on the group, mate. We miss you. I see them on YouTube and I watch them, but I really enjoyed your review of Sweeney, which I watched this morning, and that's kind of made me want to dig out the first 2 Sweeney movies and also the Ray Winston version and give them a go. I do remember watching the Ray Winston version a while ago and not being overly impressed with it. It was mostly Ben Drew. Plan B or whatever the hell they call him. It just didn't sit right with me. It was, to me, it was completely wrong. And as you said, there is only one Dennis Waterman. So he obviously wasn't going to play it the same as he did it, but it just didn't seem right. So, but I'm willing to give it another go on the back of watching the original Sweeney, as you put it, exclamation mark, and Sweeney 2. Do a little season of those and see how it sort of measures up now. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched it, quite a few years, so my opinion could have changed, and I think that's on Sky Cinema, so I don't need to buy the Blu-ray of that one. But yeah, post your videos back on the group, mate. We miss you. What else have I got here? Scott, the movie critic, great little review of Top Gun Maverick. You were obviously very passionate about that one. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. So keep up the keep the channel going and all that sort of thing. You like your little reviews, don't you? That one you did, I think, of Top Gun, I think it was only about 2 minutes, but it was straight to the point. Really enjoyed it. Let's see what else we've got here. Jason, loving your movie quotes thing. You want to do more of those, mate, without a doubt. Mine, I only do one a week, and they're normally so bloody easy that anybody could get them. But yours, you foxed me with a couple of those on there. So yeah, keep them coming, mate. If you've got any more, stick them on by all means. Maria, my God, she's going to kill me for this. She's booked tickets to go and see Top Gun Maverick, I believe, next weekend. And I said to her at work a couple of days ago, why don't you do a little mini review from outside the cinema, not outside the cinema, but in the foyer, just a little 30-second one to say what you thought of it. And she's agreed to do it. Now, I've really dropped her in it now, because I'm hoping she's going to think, oh shit, I've got to do it now. So Maria, yeah, really looking forward to seeing what you think of that. It has got 5-star reviews across the board. I haven't seen a single bad review of this movie yet. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you think of it. So take your phone with you and do one from the foyer. I can't remember what the inside of Cineworld looks like, so I'd just be curious to see what the foyer looks like nowadays. It's been that long. But yeah, really looking forward to that. So sorry for dropping you in it. Had to be done. Steve Mack, your video on slipcovers, I watched it earlier. Now then, my view on slipcovers is, or was, that I really didn't care one way or the other whether they had slipcovers or not. So on the back of that, I popped upstairs, and do you know what? I didn't realise I got so many Blu-rays with slipcovers. I'll just run through some of them now very quickly, just to prove that I do. Whether I actually bought these consciously with slipcovers, I don't know. I can't remember. But I had no idea I got this many, and this is just a small selection of them. Don't look now. There we go. Nice little slipcover. What else we got? Oh, you'll like this one, Guy. Doctor Who. I can't say it. Doctor Who. Fury from the Deep. It's one of these animated things. I believe it was a lost story that they recently found, but there's only really the audio, and what they do is they make a cartoon version of it, or an animated version, and match obviously the audio to the animated version. Now I'm going to be watching this at some point, and including it in my little Doctor Who journey, but I'm still on the William Hartnell years at the moment, so that's going to be a short while before I watch that one. But again, nice little slipcover. Very quickly run through these. One of my favourite time travel movies, Time After Time, Malcolm McDowell, David Warner. Is this? Oh, it's not a slipcover. It's it's that kind of a cover. Sorry. And that's the same. 2010. Are these classed as slipcovers? Steve, tell me. Please tell me these are classed as slipcovers. The Year We Make Contact. Oh God, these are all the same. H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. Oh, here's a slipcover. Oh, it isn't. Oh, sod. Dirty Dozen, Lee Marvin. Oh my God, I haven't got as many as I thought I'd got. Logan's Run, 1976, Michael York and, I believe, Jenny Agutter. Oh, finally. Dracula AD 72. Slipcover. Well, that failed miserably. Are they classed as slipcovers, the ones that open like that, as opposed to vertical? Steve, you can tell me that. So yeah, you are very passionate about your slipcovers, and looking at the comments on YouTube under the video, quite a few other people are as well. So I want to start a little kind of discussion on this. What are your views on Blu-rays and slipcovers? Personally now, I think I will look specifically for a movie that has got a copy of the movie that has got a slipcover. It certainly made me more aware of it. As I say, it's not something I ever gave any real thought to before watching your video. I'd have just bought, I mean, most of those that I've just shown, I'd have just bought them blindly and not even realised they've got slipcovers on them. But as I said in my comment on YouTube, your 4K collection is absolutely magnificent, and if you did stick a Blu-ray or a 4K disc in the middle of all that lot without a slipcover, it would literally stick out like a sore thumb. So I do see why you are so passionate about them, without a doubt. And you've got Jason Parry, who is definitely Team Steve on that one. He looks for his slipcovers. So I'd be curious to know what you guys think. Dave Lowe, I know you like your 4Ks and your Blu-rays. What are your thoughts on slipcovers? Chris, I know you collect a lot of them. I'll be very curious to know what you guys think. So drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's see if we can get some sort of a discussion going on this. My view is, as I say, I wasn't fussed about them at all before I watched that video. It wouldn't even have crossed my mind. Now, I think if I'm looking for a movie, I will look for a version that has got a slipcover, but I don't think I'm going to be fanatical about it. If I can't find one, I will still get it. But if I've got a choice between one with a slipcover and one without, I'll go for the one with the slipcover, because they do look nice, I will admit that. So yeah, great video, Steve. It was nice to see you doing something different apart from the Criterion stuff, which I do enjoy. I love a bit of independent cinema, as everyone knows. So next one, killer sofa reviews. Well, not reviews, figurines. Don't they look great? I mean, come on. The movie itself is not really an issue. You all know that I love the movie Killer Sofa and Armageddon. I'm just a great fan of crap, rubbish movies. But I would not class Killer Sofa as crap. I thought it was absolutely brilliant for what it was. Um, but those figurines look amazing. Now, Chris said he would love to see one in the background of one of the videos. And if I do get one, I've got to find out how big they are first. I know the price works out at something like 50 or 60 euros because they're imported from the States. So they're a bit pricey. So I'd be very surprised if you saw one of those in the background of one of the videos. But you never know, depending on the size of them. If it's just a tiny little, you remember those little whimsy things that we used to get years ago? Your mum used to collect them. If they're tiny things like that, I wouldn't bother. But if it was a fair size thing, yeah, I might consider it. Yeah, if I'm feeling flush one week. So keep your eyes peeled. I mean, I've got my little Scarface thing positioned rather nicely back there, so I try to put something different in the background every week if I can help it. So yeah, Killer Sofa figurines, possibly, maybe, yeah, maybe. Reviews. What have I been watching this week? First off, a trailer which I think looks amazing. I think Chris, you put this on, Willow. Now, Willow was a fantasy movie in the 80s, which I really need to watch again. I haven't seen it probably since the 80s. And I would really love to watch it, but Disney Plus dropped a trailer for a series that is coming out, I believe, in November, and it looks amazing. It really, really does look good. Very sort of Lord of the Rings. You've got Warwick Davis, who I am very familiar with because my mum watches Tenable in the afternoon. So whenever I go up there after work, Tenable is always on, so I'm well familiar with Warwick Davis, but I can't say I can remember him being in Willow. I do remember there was a little fella in it, but I would not have thought it was Warwick Davis. I do know he was in some of the Star Wars movies because he's often having banter with the contestants on Tenable, especially if a Star Wars related question comes up. He will always slip in there somewhere. I was in that. So I love Warwick Davis. I think he's brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this series Willow. It looks amazing. So yeah, I'll be keeping an eye out for that. What else have I got? Oh my God, Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais has got a new stand-up show on Netflix called Supernature. Now, I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, a fan of Ricky Gervais. I've seen him in The Office, thought it was okay, nothing special, but it was all right. But there has been so much fuss made over this stand-up thing. I thought, I've got a spare hour. It's only like 66 minutes long. I'll take a look. Now, it's observational comedy. I've not seen any of his stand-up shows before, so I went into this completely blind. My God, the man knows how to whip an audience up into a frenzy, that's for sure. And he's not backward at coming forward. Everything you've read about Supernature being controversial, he's just not afraid to say what he thinks in no uncertain terms. The whole thing was absolutely hysterical. I loved it. I watched certain parts of it. Not so much like that, but there wasn't more than 2 or 3 minutes went by when I wasn't going, what? Oh, seriously? It's that kind of comedy. I daren't even begin to describe the kind of stuff he goes into. I do, however, agree with his views on wokery. He basically said, and I'm not going to spoil anything here, he basically says that comedians nowadays are not usually out to just shock. Anybody can do that. We are there purely to make you laugh. And if you find anything shocking, what will me saying sorry do? Absolutely nothing. So I do agree with his views on wokery and certain other subjects that he didn't so much approach but hit head on. He's about as subtle as a brick through a window. He really is. but I loved it. It was really, really refreshing, and I do belong to a couple of the sections of society that he was not so much knocking but talking about, and I did not feel remotely offended by any of it. I really, really didn't. Um, I wasn't even shocked. Like I say, it was just one of those. Oh my God, really? Wow! It was that kind of thing. But if you like your comedy bold, and I mean really bold, daring, basically not giving a shit what he says, Ricky Gervais is your man. It has basically made me want to look out more of his stand-up shows, and I believe he's got a program or a show on Netflix called Afterlife, and I've heard very good things about this. Um, I even wouldn't mind checking out The Office again because I've not seen that for many, many years, and I do remember I've only seen probably 2 or 3 episodes and thought it was all right, which is why I wasn't that bothered about watching Supernature until I saw Chris's review of it, or mini review of it on the group, and I thought if it's only an hour, it won't do any harm. I'll either love it or I'll hate it, and I absolutely loved it. I would say anybody that is of or predisposed to being shocked by stuff that is a little off the wall, absolutely completely avoid it. Callie, no. Caroline, no, I don't think it's your thing. Anybody of a sensitive nature, avoid. But I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will be checking out more of his work. So yeah, that was Ricky Gervais Supernature, and that's on Netflix. How long it's going to be on there, I don't know, because Ricky Gervais himself is absolutely convinced, and he says this several times during the show, that it will get cancelled. But as he put on one of his posts, I think it was on Twitter, I've been paid, I don't bloody care. So that's the kind of thing you're looking at. But as I say, bold, daring, shocking, anything you can think of, he is it. But he's a master storyteller. He really is. He had the audience in hysterics. He had me in hysterics. Really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, worth a look. Next one, Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's on Disney Plus. It's a Star Wars spin-off. Watched the first episode yesterday. Now, I've avoided Star Wars stuff for quite a while. Bit of a traditionalist with Star Wars. I like the original trilogy. I've seen the prequel trilogy, and I've seen one of the next lot, which was the Force Awakens. So I do love my Star Wars traditional, and I've always avoided things like The Mandalorian, which now I probably wouldn't mind a look at. But I thoroughly enjoyed the first episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ewan McGregor is in it. Jimmy Smits is in there. And it's basically, it goes to when you go back to when Obi-Wan Kenobi was obviously much younger. The characters in there, you've got a very young Luke Skywalker, a very young Princess Leia. I loved all the throwbacks to the original trilogy, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this pans out. So yeah, I will be coming on with a full review of this when I've watched all 6 episodes. I believe it's 6. But yeah, the first episode showed a lot of promise, and I really, really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. But I'll know more when I've watched the rest of it. Top Gun. I'm going to make this quick because I could sit here talking for ages about Top Gun. Another movie that it's taken me 35 years, 36 years to actually get round to watching. And it's been brought into start focus by obviously the release of Top Gun Maverick, which, as I said earlier, is getting 5-star reviews across the board. I've not read a single negative comment about it. It's supposed to be excellent, and I'm looking forward to seeing it, but obviously I needed to see the original first, so I banged it on last night, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It is pure 80s, right from the opening shot. The music, Kenny Loggins, Danger Zone, the fashions, the Ray-Bans, everybody looks absolutely stunning in this. It is The actual movie itself looks great. It is glossy entertainment. I don't need to tell you what it's about because you all know. I'm probably the only person who didn't know what it was about. All I knew is that it was something to do with fighter pilots, and Tom Cruise is in there, Anthony Edwards, Kelly McGillis, Val Kilmer, looking remarkably young, but I suppose he would do. This was like 36 years ago. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed this movie. Will I watch it again? Very likely. Very, very likely. It's the kind of thing that I wished I'd have seen it all those years ago on the big screen. I really, really do. I think this was 1986. My cinema going had waned a little bit by then. So I used to watch stuff mostly on VHS. But this would have looked absolutely stunning. And from what I've heard of Top Gun Maverick, the thing looks absolutely sensational. If there was a movie that could have tempted me back into a cinema, it would probably have been something like this, or maybe a reissue of Close Encounters. Close Encounters again. But yeah, Top Gun, absolutely loved it. I mean, how can you not love a film with what was it? Shirtless volleyball, beach volleyball. It's like, what was the point of that scene? Don't get me wrong, looked great, but my God, it's like sticking that in the middle of an action film. But I thought it was absolutely brilliant. The soundtrack was great. The whole thing looked amazing. As I say, my only regret is that I'd not actually seen it before that. But I am certainly very fired up to watch Top Gun Maverick. I think I'm going to hold off until I get my 4K set up later in the year, and that will probably be one that I will watch in 4K before anything else. So we shall see how we go. But Top Gun, yeah, totally, totally brilliant. The other series I'm looking forward to is hitting Disney Plus, I believe, on the 31st, and it's Pistol. And this is another, I think it's a 6-part hour-long episodes based on the early life of the Sex Pistols. It's based on a book by one of the band members called Lonely Boy. Now, I know there's been a lot of controversy about this. John Lydon has been trying to get it stopped basically since he heard about it. He says he's not been consulted in any way about the content of the programme, and he tried for ages to get it stopped. And I don't think his lawyers managed to. Well, obviously they didn't, because it's premiering on the 31st. Another series I'm really, really fired up about, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Huge fan of the Sex Pistols, as they were back in the 70s. So yeah, really looking forward to that. So I'll let you know what I think of that when I've actually watched it. Sequelophobia. No, I'd never heard of it either. But I've been accused of having it by Guy, possibly by Jason, maybe Chris, maybe everybody. There is this thing, and I think I've addressed this before, whereas I will watch an original movie but I won't watch any of the sequels. Well, I'm going to put that to rights. Guy basically said that I have sequelophobia. Well, guess what, Guy? I'm going to take that idea and run with it. From next week, I think it's going to be next week, there will be a new section called Sequelophobia, and it will be me talking about a movie that I have watched, which is a sequel. I'm going to be taking some of the franchises that I have been accused of not watching properly, and one by one I'm going to go through them. I'm going to start with Lethal Weapon. Now, I've already seen the first one, so it seems a fairly good place to start. So I'm going to get Lethal Weapon 2, 3 and 4 watched, and they are going to be the first victims of sequelophobia. So nice one, Guy. I am taking that idea, picking that baton up, and I'm going to run with it. So well done. Chris invented Quote Encounters. I'm crediting you with the sequelophobia section, which should start next week. So well done on that one. Nice one. Bid it or keep it. Bid it or keep it this week is this one. Saving Grace. I bought this on the recommendation of somebody that I was talking to. who recommended it to me as what they classed as a gentle comedy, but really funny. So I tracked a copy down, got hold of it, and finally got a chance to watch it last week. Not to go into too much detail, it stars Brenda Blethyn. Leslie Phillips, i.e. the Carry On movies, is in this. Craig Ferguson, not familiar. Just very briefly, Brenda Blethyn has lost her husband, buries him, and then finds out that he has left her with an absolute mountain of debt and various business deals left unfinished. She finds out quite by accident that her gardener, played by Craig Ferguson, is growing cannabis, I think it is, within the grounds of the local church, not known to the local vicar, who is played by Leslie Phillips. It is a gentle comedy. It's in the same sort of vein possibly as Local Hero. It's set in Scotland. I thought it was okay. I thought it was all right. It was a passable way to spend 90 minutes. It descended a bit into sort of knockabout humour within the last 15-20 minutes, with some sort of kind of a chase going on between drug dealers and the locals and this, that and the other. There's a good scene where a couple of the local shopkeepers get stoned. That's quite funny. But the movie itself is okay. Brenda Blethyn is pretty much good in everything she does. But I thought this was all right. As for a bin it or keep it, it's going to be a bin it, but only for the reason that would I watch it again? Probably not. It was an enjoyable way to spend an hour and a half, but I don't think I'd be watching it again. So that's a bin it. But for no other reason than I've seen it now, and that's pretty much it. So, Vinyl Corner for this week. Let's see. 10. Do you remember when Dudley Moore was really, really popular in the late 70s, very early 80s, with movies like Arthur, Arthur 2, and there was this one, 10, which he starred in with Bo Derek. I'm covering my face up there. I'll just show you the back. There we go. And this is the soundtrack to it. It was a Blake Edwards movie, basically about a guy in his 40s going through a midlife crisis. He was in a relationship with Julie Andrews. It's the first time I'd ever heard Julie Andrews swear. Used to seeing her in The Sound of Music, but I'd never heard her swear before, but she does in this one. But I thought it was a charming film. I absolutely loved it and still do. It's a typical Blake Edwards comedy. The soundtrack is amazing. It's not pop soundtrack, it's very easy listening, a lot of piano songs on there. I just thought it was a lovely soundtrack, and I got hold of that. It did have a sticker on it because I remember buying this, but it's not on there. But you would not know any of the titles on here apart from Ravel's Bolero, which if you've seen the movie you will know what that sequence is all about. But that's the soundtrack for this week. I thought that was excellent. Movie tie-in for this week. Now forgive me if I repeat myself on these. Let's see, Piranha. Now this is obviously what the movie, the Joe Dante movie Piranha was based on. I love Piranha, always have done. Bradford Dillman, Heather Menzies, who starred in Logan's Run, the TV series. This is a cracking book. If I do repeat any of these, by the way, do forgive me. I haven't got very many of them to go through now, so I'm going to have to start another little thread on this. But again, the pages are quite faded because it's an old book. This would have been from about 1976, something like that. So yeah, and I also found, while I was delving about upstairs, this little beaut, The Empire Strikes Back storybook. Now this was bought, this would have been about 1980 when the movie came out, and it is literally just, if I just open a few of the pages for you, it is literally the story of The Empire Strikes Back, the movie, with loads of colour photos. And this cost at the time £1.95. I wonder how much it's worth now. But that I would imagine that's quite a rarity. I'll have to go on eBay later on and have a look. But all you Star Wars fans would love that. It's a beautiful looking thing, and it's still in quite good nick for saying how old it is. Quote encounters for this week. This is the last easy one I'm giving you. You are going to get this within the first few first few seconds, but let me read it out. I've actually got it on my phone. I can't believe how easy this is, but here we go. When I first met you, you were larger than life. Look at you. You're not going to be happy unless you're going Mach 2 with your hair on fire and you know it. Answers on a postcard within the next 10 seconds too. You know what that is. You all know what that is. Right, that's it for this week. 35 minutes. I've set a record here. 35 minutes. And this is from somebody that was doubting whether anybody was watching these things last week. So yeah, thanks ever so much for joining me, folks. I'll be back again next week with more of the same. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and also subscribe. That would be amazing. Enjoy. Swore I'd never use that clapperboard thing again, but I had no choice. The damn phone cut out, didn't it? Apparently the memory was full and this, that and the other, and it just stopped. So, right at the end, if I'd have shortened it by 2 minutes, I'd have made it. So that's a good excuse for keeping it under 30 minutes. Or digging that bloody camcorder out and learning how to use it instead of doing it on this old rubbish phone. So as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. If you've enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up and also subscribe. That'd be brilliant. Thanks ever so much for joining me. Really appreciate your company. And I will talk to you all again next week. Have a great weekend, folks. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.